Well, good afternoon, everyone. This is Robin Carter with Robin's Creations. I am an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator out of Flower Mound, Texas. And today I'm here to share with you my second set of alternative cards using the September paper pumpkin kit named Autumn Abundance. So if you're new to my channel, let me welcome you, and I hope you stick around throughout this whole video. A lot of you know I don't intend to make mistakes, but they happen, and I keep my videos real to show you what to do if you make those mistakes. But let me welcome those of you that are subscribed to my channel. Thank you so much for your support. And if you're new to my channel, or maybe you've watched a few and have yet to subscribe, I would really love if you would subscribe to my YouTube channel. We are about 60 away from 3,800. So if you can be a part of that, I would greatly appreciate it. All right, before we begin, let me share with you something I learned today. On October 1st, throughout the month of October, they're going to have a special on the Kits collection. Now, Kits collection versus Paper Pumpkin are different. The Paper Pumpkin is a monthly subscription, and the Kits collections are just kits that are available on the online store, and they release new ones about every 2 months. But in October, they're going to have a sale on all the kits that are available, up to 30% off. So be looking for that if you love making kits for the cards with kits. And as you can see here, I love Paper Pumpkin as a kit, but I expand those and make more avid cards out of those. So that's what I'm here to share with you today. So let me switch to the hands down version so I can show you some things on my desktop. Okay, so this is what we're going to be working on this month. And if you missed my first alternative, it's in my YouTube channel. Just click on my home channel and then videos, and then they'll be in order of date published. So that's what we're going to work on. And then I just like to share that going on is the mini catalog for September through December with lots of goodies in there. And then if you do not already have the third quarter add-on dies, they are still available, and the item number is 164991. You all know I have used these over and over again with the leaf if you're watched my videos. And then let me share with you the next quarter of Paper Pumpkin Kit. So going on now is the subscription period for the October Nests of Christmas kit. Now I'm really looking forward to this. It's going to coordinate with the Nests of Winter Sweet collection. And I think I have, here is the stamp set, and it is on page, I have it thumbed, I think. There it is, tagged anyway. It's on page 30 and 31 of the mini catalog. I've shared this with you before, so I'm not going to spend a lot of our time because we have a lot to get going with the second one. But anyway, this is a coordinating kit, and I think it's going to be beautiful, so I'm really looking forward to that kit. By the way, if you are a brand new subscriber to Paper Pumpkin, they have a great special for you. It is only available for month-to-month subscriptions, not prepaid, but you could buy a prepaid and save that code for after October. The code you would want to put in is HOLIDAY40, so 40% off. That kit on a month-to-month subscription, if you're brand new, will be 40% off for October for this kit. So there is no commitment. You could cancel after this kit, although I don't know why you would want to. I have a lot of fun with these kits, but there is no commitment. So you could just get that one and test it out and see how you like it. All right, then there's November and December and a new set of add-on dies. These are called the Merry Tags and More dies. So you can see here a little picture. We get a tag, the word Merry, and a nice leaf again. The item number for these are 165639. All of the add-on dies are while supply lasts, so I can't guarantee you how long they will be around. So let's get started. Let me put this up. As we go along, you're going to see a lot of these little things that I organize my supplies in. They are what I call my favorite things. So I will explain that as we get going. Okay, the first thing I want to use is Let's see which one of these I want to do first. Okay, this one. So what we're going to use is the envelope. Now I have cut open the envelope, the little envelope. Let me show you which one. Because I've already cut one open for you. I should have another. Actually, it's in one of my other organizers. These are the 5x7 ones. So it's this envelope, and I have cut it open from the sides. And then this is the flap, which I have cut down to 1 7/8 by 3 7/8. So you'll want to take a little from each side when cutting this one. All right, and then I did cut the gummy part off a little bit just so it can be square. And then we're going to use this as the background piece. So that came from this envelope right here. All right, so you're going to need that. And I think this is already 3 7/8 on the inside. If not, trim that to 3 7/8 this wide. And it doesn't really matter because that's going to go over that. I am still going to use a thick white card base, which I don't have. Now, these are also great for storing pre-scored cards that I keep a whole stash ready to go here by my desk. So when I don't have those in my kit, I can grab them quickly. All right, so you're going to want to do that. Get your bone folder. I do love having a bone folder to do this with. It gives it a nice crisp line. And then I'm going to feel to see, okay, this side is a hair bigger, so it's going to be my top. I have a piece of very vanilla cardstock that's 4 1/8 by 5 3/8. Okay, and then we're going to build a scene with this. So I'm not going to glue it on my card base yet because I would like to add some ribbon here. All right, so let's get my multi-purpose liquid glue. I don't know why I'm having a hard time picking that up. And let's put a thin amount. Now this is envelope paper that we've cut open, so you don't want to be too hefty on your glue. Tape runner would work well. I love the liquid glue because it gives me a little wiggle room so I can hopefully center. And when I have a hard time seeing with the whites, I get out my Pierce mat because it gives me a little dark color that I can hopefully get that centered. It's still crooked. Let me see if I can scoot it still, or maybe just peel it up. See, troubles already. Okay, that's center enough. It's a little off, but I'm going to go with it. All right, and then we're going to take this piece. Now I am going to put this piece at the bottom just because it has more leaves. So we will line that up. I guess you could lick the gummy part. I'm not going to do that. That's left. All right, and put that where it lines up with that. Now don't worry that there's a little bit showing that's still curved from the envelope curve, because we're going to cover that up with ribbon. No fear with that. Now I happen to have an old stash of some grosgrain ribbon. It's a big big wheel of it, so I'm just going to trim off a little piece of it. Now there is some vanilla satin ribbon at the online store that's available if you are looking for a ribbon. This one's not very fat. I also have some satin ribbon that we could use as well, and it would cover that up. You know what? Let me grab that real quick. Hold on just a minute. Okay, I went ahead and grabbed the satin ribbon anyway because I wanted to cover that up. Now, if you'll notice, you can see through to the leaves. And I know my downline doesn't like that. She gives me tips of my card. So here's what I'm going to do. I have a piece of scrap very vanilla cardstock, and I'm going to trim that to 3 7/8 and put this behind so that it makes my ribbon not see-through. So let me get my trimmer out. This is just a scrap piece I had in my folder. 3 7/8 is good. I've got all kinds of blades on here, don't I? So, that is what we're going to use for that. So I want to put this where it's going to cover up the little curve from my envelope that didn't quite make 3 7/8. All right, let me get my multi-purpose glue again. To do that, so there's just a little tip if you want your ribbon not to be see-through. Okay, and then we're going to put this around the card. All right, so I like to do that with tear and tape. And I think it's behind me. This is just some paper pumpkin tear and tape that we've received along the way. So you might as well use it up. And then I want it to go on the back. Like that. And then I'm going to need my silicone mat because when I wrap this around, I don't want it to stick to my little grid sheet here. All right, so let's get this lined up with the piece of cardstock and wrap it around. Okay, so how do you like that little trick so it doesn't show through? All right, I'm going to keep building. Now, I did share with you that I have this new set that I'm in love with called the Frosted Forest. Now, this was an online exclusive product, and I have the bundle number here on top. The bundle is 164137, so that includes the stamp set, the dies, which I'm digging around here for, and a set of masks for coloring. And let me, I'm going to show you how easy this is. Now, to do this, I'm going to need to bring in my you don't have to have a glass mat, but I love to do it on my glass mat. So let me grab it. It is going to be a little shiny, and that's why I leave it on my desk to craft all the time. I don't do it on my videos because it does shine. Now here are some of the masks. You can see I've already colored with it. There's also some for the evergreen trees, but I'm going to use the big tree, and something is on here not letting it be level. I think I just had it on my plate over there. All right, so I have already cut out a blank tree that we're going to color for this. So I'm going to get out my stamp positioning tool, which is the Stamparatus. This is no longer for sale. The one currently on the market is Misty, and that is a part of my favorite things. I do have a link in this video description of what of where you can purchase all of these favorite things of mine. However, I also now have an Amazon storefront that lists all those and make it a little easier for shopping. So I will have a link to that in my video description as well. That way you don't have to read through all the little links. You can click on my store, and I have crafty favorite things and I have household favorite things. So check that out, and maybe you'll see some things that would be helpful for you. I do get a few pennies back at no cost to you when you use those links. So thank you for your support if you have used those links, or if you go to my store and make any purchases from there. So I'm inking this up with some early espresso. Okay. Close that up so I don't get brown fingers. I've had orange fingers and brown fingers all week. All right, that was a good image. All right, let me get I do have my chamois wet. However, I first like to go over it with a piece of damp paper towel. Now, when you use paper towel, I do like to buy strong ones that don't peel a lot, but you'll want to tap and not rub so you don't tear paper towel all over your stamp and have to try to clean that off. But with a chamois, you can give it a good wipe. All right. Now, I already have, and this was just a piece of junk cardstock that I had way before I fell in love with Stampin' Up! Paper. So I've cut it to 5 by 7 and I have it here taped on my glass mat with this image cut out of the center. And that just helps it to stay. All right. And then I'm going to bring in these masks. Now, very faintly, you can see there's a number 1, and that's just below where the notch is. So this is going to be your top side. Ask me how I know, because I was like, this isn't lining up. And I was like, I don't have it on the right side. And the reason why I did the red is so I have some contrast to where my stamp starts. Now I did notch where this one goes. All right, and then I have a little piece of tape to hold it down. All right, we do need the brown back out. And then I have my blending brushes. You can see I've been playing. So I like to ink it up, go off on my glass mat to get the ink started, and then just brush it here. And this mask is like, it's like magic. I always am excited when I lift it up because there's no, I'm not an artist, but look at that. It does all the work for me with just a simple brush. Okay, so now we're going to put on the next color, and I'm going to make this a fall tree. Now here's my notch, and I say it's a good suggestion because with the other set that I had, I didn't quite think it worked as well. So I use that as a suggestion and then move it around where I think it looks good. And then we're going to get out pumpkin pie. Now, if you just have spots like here, you could simply take that and push it there on your glass mat. Okay, and then pick it up here, get it going. And then I'm going to start out really light to see if I have enough ink. And then when I'm done with this, I do take it to my sink and just rinse them all off. Be very careful if you're drying it that you dab these masks and not try to rub. You might bend some of the fine little mask pieces. You know what, that's a little light down below. So let's get that going again. Now, I should have picked it up without lifting it completely off. Okay, that looks good and dark. Isn't that nice? I mean, it just, it wows me every time. Okay, and now for the detail, we have this third mask. And again, this is where it suggests. And am I going to go with that? I guess I am going to go with that. So I've got some little tape here to help hold it down. And then we're going to go with crushed curry. And this was the ink spot you received in this kit. So I'm going to use my full-size pad. Am I moving the table? I try not to, but it's hard. Okay, and then I'm going to rub this crushed curry in. I thought about not doing this on camera, but I thought I might as well in case you are new to stamping with masks. All right, let's peek at this. It's a little dark, but maybe it'll get lighter when we dry. But anyway, here is our fall tree. So we're going to use that. Let me set this aside so we can get back to our card. And I'm not shining all over the place. Okay, so thick card base, our layer we made already. Let me make sure I don't have crushed curry on my thumb that it's going to get on the card. Chamois is good for that as well. And then I'm going to show you a couple other trees that I made. So I made this one with, I believe, Poppy Parade, light and then dark. Here's another one. I think we're going to use it. This one, I was a little heavy on the crushed curry, but here's another one that I made. And one that I'm not as fond of, I think I showed this earlier, is the wild wheat with crushed curry. Maybe I should have went with an orange that would be less contrast on that. All right, so let's get building our card. I think I can put this on my card base now. Now, since I got rid of thick, very vanilla. I am just going to stick with a white card base, and I think it still looks okay, even though this last layer is very vanilla. Because I like a thick card base. I guess I could have went with an orange, but I tend to be a neutral card base person. That's what I like. All right, so there we have that on there. And then we're going to need our tree. Now I'm going to use dimensionals for this, and I'm going to share an alternative you could have with your paper pumpkin stamps to use instead if you are not into getting these wonderful bundles like the Frosted Forest. Let me just get the dimensionals going. Get all the backs off. Okay, and I'm going to put this on this side of the card because I'm going to save this spot for a sentiment. And I want to use a sentiment from the kit. So I'm going to get my Stamparatus back out. And this is what I loved about it, is I could take this plate off, set it aside, and then I have those stamps already lined up on this plate. And I have another, this is the one that came with it. And then I have to share this. So unfortunately, I didn't buy like 20 deluxe mats. I really wish I would have. I only have a few, but I tried laminating the grid sheet and it didn't hold the ink well, like to position it, it would bubble up. Well, I found these dividers, very cheap, and they're going to be on my online store, and then I've cut them. So they're like 3-ring dividers that you can write on. And then I've cut them to 7 3/8 and put them in here as another fake deluxe mat. So that's what I have here in case you're wondering, where did you get that? All right, so I need all my little cutouts. Now I did get the cut file out on my Etsy shop for this stamp set. So if you're looking for a whole bunch of cuts, I do have the SVG and the scan and cut together. So before I used to list them separately, and sometimes it was confusing of which one to pick, and then there were more. I have now doubled them so that when you make the purchase, you get both the SVG and the scan and cut file, which I believe is FCN, something like that. The SVG comes up true to size with Cricut Design Space, and the other one, the zipped file, will be the one for the scan and cut, and that one comes up true to size on the scan and cut. Now, unfortunately, I have not, when I do the SVG upload, it doesn't come up true to size in Canvas Workspace. I don't know why. So that's why I include both folders, or both file sets. This is the one in our, make sure that's in the corner. This is the stamp in our kit. And I inked it in early espresso. I just like the look of that. I think Cajun Craze would look fine as well. It does still stick a little bit, but not as bad. And then we have our sentiment. So isn't that cute? Let me go ahead and clean that off while I'm working on that. And then I want to bring in a leaf. Now I should have several of those already pre-stamped, just so I can put that sentiment with a leaf from the kit. Now I did pre-stamp a bunch of these. I may have to steal one from this and stamp another one on my next card. But here is the leaf, and I'm just going to see how I like that. Something like that looks good, but I am going to put my sentiment on dimensionals. Now you could also add leaves down here if you wanted to. I'm going to leave them off of this card. I can't remember what I did on my first card, which I'll show you in a second. And then I'll show you the alternative tree you could use. We're going to use that on our next alternative. So stick around, and it's a paper pumpkin one, so you may already have that in your stash if you've been a Paper Pumpkin subscriber for a while. All right, so thinking of you. Okay, there we go. That is our first alternative. Let me see the one I made previously, if I did anything different. Nope, I just used a different color leaf, and this one I do not have the berry vanilla piece behind the ribbon. So what do you guys think about that? All right, so let me get all of this put up, and let's get out my next alternative for you. I've got a little collection of backings already. Okay, so now that we've used the envelope, I wanted to use that base. I already have it cut over here. I'm trying not to lose all my pieces and can bring them out individually. Okay, this is the one we're going to use. It does come from the card base that's like this, that has a little hole. So I have cut it in half, and we're going to make 3 cards using these supplies. So I already have 2 made. We're going to make just one of this one, which I already have cut because I have this one, and this one left over. So let's get started with this card. So again, we're going to need a thick white card base. Okay, we're going to need a piece of crushed curry. Now, if you do not have a bunch of cardstock, I cut open this envelope. You can see right here. And then I trimmed this piece to 4 1/8 by 5 3/8 to use as a background here. Okay, and then we're going to have this piece. And then rather than use the pieces from the kit, now you could, I do have these in my little envelope. You could easily make your wreath like that. You could use 2 and make a wreath. I'm going to make one out of leaves that I've stamped and colored because I already did these already. So here's what I did. I stamped that one in pumpkin pie and this one in crushed Cajun craze. Did I say crushed curry earlier? That is Cajun craze. I have my very vanilla piece here. And then I just keep pulling out my leaves. Hopefully I have enough. If not, I will stamp another. I think I stole one that I need from that one. I think I already have some stamped as well. Okay, I found my little piece of extras that I stamped, although there's one in orange. So these are the 3 by 5 little envelopes that I like to store little pieces like that in. So we're going to glue this around like a wreath around this circle. Now granted, I kind of like the look of this. It was a lot more leaves than the little one already. This bright paper pumpkin gets in my way of crafting. So I'm going to cover this up with my Pierce mat. It is cute, but I'm just going to keep going. Now I'm going to put all the leaves going in the same direction, like the stems, kind of overlapping each other a little bit. And hopefully this is going to end up pretty symmetrical. And I'm going to need one more of him. And I'll put this one over both of those. Okay, so there is our leaf. Now you could set that up better. Maybe my finished one's going to be a little more evenly spread out. I guess while this is still wet, you could scoot them a little bit. so they're closer together. And then these wouldn't be quite so overlapping. Okay, I like that better. All right, so there we have a little leaf that gives more leaves on that. I got glue on my Pierce mat. All right, and like I said, this is the envelope piece. And so we're going to put that up with dimensionals there on that. So I'm still working on this big Stampin' Dimensionals piece. I think this was from a paper pumpkin kit because it doesn't have backings. I just use them as I come to them and then store them in a bin over here. All right, so let's take off those backings. Get my glue upside down so it stays at the tip. So hopefully by now you all have your kits. So if you don't have your kit by now, check your shipping label. Okay, it could be on its way. I would say if by the 28th you don't have yours, you may want to contact your demonstrator or call Stampin' Up! Directly to see where it might be. Okay, so let's put this on the Cajun Craze envelope piece. Okay, so there we have our basic card. Now for this, I'm going to bring in an old paper pumpkin set. This was just from this year, so I didn't go too far back. It was the Best There Is kit that has this little set of trees. And this is what I was talking about as an alternative to use for that other tree that I made in my first card. So let me get out my Stamparatus again. I need my other plate and mat. You maybe already saw that and you knew what that was. Okay, and then the plate, which has that tree stamp already lined up on there. So by the way, your Early Espresso does it. A lot of different inks will stain your stamps, and it doesn't, they're not ruined, I guess is what I'm trying to say. It shows they're well loved, and actually the more you use these stamps, I think they stamp a whole lot better. So I also added this cut file to my Etsy shop. So this is a tree with a whole lot of border, and then I have one that's not quite as bordered. Okay, like I have this one which is not quite as bordered. I don't know if you can see that. Maybe they sit on top of each other. So they're both in my cut file. For this one, I'm going to use the not as bordered one. Now on the other card, I think I would have used the bordered, and I'll go back and show that when you get there. Here's the bigger mask. I kind of just laid this one over it. We're going to hope that's lined up. If not, I have another one that we're going to try. Okay, so what I want to do is take the paper pumpkin and just go on, did I say paper pumpkin? This is pumpkin pie ink. So I'm going to go over the leaves with it and stamp. Okay, and then that's lined up pretty well. We're going to take our Early Espresso mini one. It has disappeared on me again. Okay, right here is the Early Espresso. And let me clean the orange off first so I don't cross-contaminate my inks. Go on just the branches or the bottom part. You get a little, I always use my fingers to wipe it off. That's why I get inky fingers. And let's stamp the trunk. Okay, so that worked really well. So let me clean that off. set this aside. And then in that stamp set was this little bitty piece right here. So I have it on a block, and I'm going to take my crushed curry ink, and I want something to stamp off on because I don't want it super dark, but I do want some contrast. So I just have a piece of scrap paper here. I'll ink that up, stamp off lightly, and then go on my trees to give it like a two-tone of different leaf colors. Let me see if you can see it better like that. That bottom one didn't get very many, did it? So just kind of to show that like leaves changing colors. Okay, and if you want to do the top, I got this stamp off once and then put it here and get the top. Let's do the same thing to the other tree. Okay, so there we have a little variation, like the leaves changing color for fall. So I hope you like that. And it's a stamp you may have. So let's put all this back away and get back to our card. So we have that here, and I just thought this looked cute right in here. I'm trying to decide. I think I put the first one on dimensionals. This one, you know what, dimensionals it is. It's always, if you're in doubt, put dimensionals. That's my saying. I think these is an easy way to add interest and definition to your cards. All right, and then we're going to stick this in here. Okay, then let's attach this to our thick white card base. Feel to see which one is bigger. And then we're running, this is a long class, so I'm going to move along. I'll show you my finished one with a sentiment and where I got that from. And then we'll start on our next card. Okay, so this is the base of it. Now here is the finished card. I did get this label from our first set of add-on dies. It has this tag. And then the sentiment comes from a paper pumpkin kit, Beyond the Horizon, from March of 2022, This Thinking of You. So I hope you like that. Oh, I see what I forgot to do, and I can do it still. So I took my early espresso marker and put some branches in the tree with that. So that's what I did with this other card. Just kind of look to see where there might be some branches, and you can go along that line. Okay, and I'll add some more here, but you get the drift of how I did that. So I hope you like this alternative and a way to use your past paper pumpkin kits. All right, we have one more, and I'm going to try to move quickly because this is running along. So you need another thick white card base. I go through a lot of those. And then remember, I had this piece, the bottom of that piece. Now you can get two. I have one left because I have completed one. All right, so we're going to use that there. And then in our kit were these little pieces of Cajun craze. Now this one I used the new Birchwood 3D embossing folder to put that on. Another one you could use is even the So Swirly, I think would look nice. There was also a timber embossing folder, and then a leaf fall. Now my finished one, I used the leaf fall, so we'll see which ones we like better for that. And I have my very vanilla 4 1/4 by 5 3/8. So let's adhere this to our vanilla piece. Now I will be working on my PDF for all my alternatives as well. If you're a Paper Pumpkin subscriber of mine, you get that automatically in an email. The last 2 months I've put on my Etsy shop in case maybe you're your own demonstrator or your best friend is your demonstrator, but I have those PDFs out there. They are my least fun thing to do, but I know it really helps my subscribers. So that's what I do for them. I always say refer to my, let me see which way. I think this has more leaves. And the leaf going this direction works. Oh, I did not trim that. Okay, here's what you do if you forget to trim that. I'm just having a lot of fun. I'm going to get my, this is damp. I'd probably go with a dry. Just wipe that liquid glue off. Get out my trimmer. And this needs to be 3 7/8. Okay, correct. So now you can glue again. I get talking and it's a lot easier to make these cards when I'm not doing a video because you're just yourself. And I get talking about things and I forget to do things on my videos. So excuse me for that. Looks like I got a little glue there. All right, so there is our base there. And then I am going to put some ribbon there. I want a thinner ribbon, and I just happen to have an old spool of this ribbon. So let me grab that. Okay, here this is. Now let me give you a tip. If you only have very wide ribbon and you wanted it to be thinner, just get some tear and tape, put along one side of it, and then fold it over. And that would make it half the size. I've done that before when I didn't have the size I wanted. And now I need my tear and tape. I think I need a bigger desk, although I don't think a bigger one would fit very well in my room. Maybe I just need a side table for when I do my videos. All right, peel off the backing. Put the ribbon around. Okay, and now I can attach this to my card base. I was real happy with the free shipping we had last week because I was getting low on my prepaid paper pumpkin subscription that I like to get, and so I was able to get that. Now you can only have one code in at a time, so like I have another month or so remaining, so I just take a screenshot of that code I got emailed, and once those are all shipped, I can then add my new code for my prepaids. All right, so now we need that tree we just made, or no, we need to make another one. So this time I'm going to use the one with a bigger border for this. And like I said, this one would work for the first card that we made. All right, so get away the little mask. And I have that mask. Not a mask, it's just a placeholder for my stamp set. All right, so let's do the same thing again. Pumpkin pie. And it doesn't matter if you get pumpkin pie on the trunk because the early espresso is dark enough to cover that up. Let's hope this one stamps as well. Yep. And then do the early espresso trunks. Okay, that looks nice. Let's clean that off over here. And again, I would do the same thing I did with the other one, is take my marker here, make some branches in the tree, just kind of where you think you can see them. This one, it looks like I can see all the way through. Excuse me, I get dry throat when I start making the video. So that looks pretty good. Let's just go ahead and finish that one down with a few branches off it. Okay, so that is how you would do that. So let me get out my other cards and show you. I will add the darker color, but on this one, if you don't have that, you could easily put this tree here like that, and I think that would be just as cute with something you may already have. So I like to show those options to everyone. I just really love that set. All right, so let's get back to our card. Oh, I do need to add the detail. You know what? Let's see. How are we doing? We're going pretty long. So I would do that with this, just the same, and then I'm going to put that on dimensionals, and then do my sentiment. Now my sentiment, I'm going to use one of my cut file images. I don't know why I like this as well. Now they gave us labels for this, and it would work just as well, but I'm going to show how my, in case you got my cut file, I made the cut around for the words. So it's going to go right in here. I need a foam mat because these are photopolymer. Okay, and then again, I'm going to use early espresso. Cajun craze would work as well. If I can't find my, here's my big earliest, here it is. All right, I need my different plate. My desk is full of plates and mats and such. Nope, not that one, this one. Let me get my napkin and wipe that one up. Okay, and there we have Sending Autumn Wishes Your Way. That one's a little fuzzy, so I'll probably make another one of those. And then I would just get a leaf. Doesn't matter really which color because there's all colors. I'm going to say a pumpkin pie one just because that would show better on the Cajun craze. And do something like this. So let me show you my finished one on dimensionals and everything. So here is one with the detail of the changing leaves color. I did put my sentiment up with dimensionals and this little leaf back here. So that is my third alternative. And like I said, you can make two of these with the other half of that card base that doesn't have a hole in it. The other half, I just cut it in half, and that's what I used here. So let me switch back to myself. Let me get, I guess I can show these again. Here's my finished one. And I did like this one cut closer than this one. And then of course I just had out my tree ones. The ones with the big tree. So thanks for joining me today. Let me switch to myself. Okay, there I am. So thanks for joining me today, everyone. Sorry for all the mistakes, and this video went kind of long. So like I said, I hope you like this. The best compliment you can give me is a thumbs up to this video. Share this with your other paper crafting friends and leave me a kind comment. I do like to hear where you're watching from. as well. I find that interesting. So until my next video, I hope you all have a great day, and thanks for watching. Again, at the end of this video will be a link to where you can subscribe, a link to my online Stampin' Up! Store, and previous videos. So thanks for joining me, everyone. Have a great day. I gotta switch switch scenes here. All right, thanks for joining me. Bye-bye.